Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to decorate the folio that we made in the last video and that I am launching in my store, the design. So if you remember, it is this. This is a closure. Open it up. You can see I started my decorating early. And it has a statement card in it that you can put into these extra holders that are like photo corners, which you could also use photo corners for. There's a bunch of different cards in here. This is for extra ephemera, and this is for bookmarks. So I'm going to get started. What I have done already is this kit comes with some fussy cuts / stickers is what I call them, because if you want to, you can always print these on sticker paper. So for these ones, some of these are printed on cardstock, like heavier cardstock, and some of them are stickers. So I will use both probably. For example, there's a sticker. And then I put onto this. So this does not come with a kit. This is a journal topper. And I have made about 1,000 of these, and I have a bunch in my stash. And so I just decided I wanted something on the front cover. And then I have them lightly done when I finish them. And then I can add things to it that make it match with the project. Okay. So for this one, I wanted to put on like a butterfly. See if I have a smaller one. Butterfly and there's already a butterfly there and a flower from the kit so that they tie in. Wonder if I can fit that bee there. I can. Yeah. I'm going to put the bee there instead. All right. So you get a bunch of dragonflies, some butterflies, and some bees for part of your decorations. And then a whole page of flowers, which are over here. And I figured that you could use those for many projects. But that's there we go. So that's going to be my front cover. And then I am going to start with the tags. So I'm going to take the tags out and set this over here. And these come with a beautiful decoration on the front, and I might not do very much with that. But the backs of them are definitely just the backing paper. So the first thing I'm going to do is ink, because I like my tags inked. And this particular paper that I used was a little fraying at the back when it had ink on it. So I just want that to have the more aged look and less of the white paper. All right. And so I think I wanted to talk a little bit while I'm decorating about this kit. So when I do a new kit, meaning it's a different design than I've ever done in terms of the template of it or the shape of it, I just usually start with like an idea of what I would want. So this one is a folio. And I was thinking about, I love decorated words and pulling out quotes from books that I love or taking notes on reading. And I thought it would be fun to have like just a small folio that you could keep on a shelf. And then on the back of the journal cards, you could be talking about like what you read, give your opinion on it. You can track what you're reading. You could put a reading log in there. And obviously the bookmarks go along with that theme. And so this is one that I thought, I want some interesting pieces to it. I wanted the flaps that were going to come in and out. I like the folding pieces so that it's more than just opening it up and finding pockets. So I'm having trouble getting the sticker paper off the back of this. There it goes. Does anybody else struggle with this? All right. Sometimes also, let's talk about this for a second. I do ink my sticker edges because they're white sometimes, if I use white sticker paper, for example. And I think it just makes it look a little bit more cohesive. All right. And then I have some sticker words that I like. And so I'm going to use those here too. All right. And then, so the big thing here for me to decide is what size hole I want to put in. This is a kind of in-between size tag. And so for smaller tags, I use the smaller one. But for this one, I am going to use the larger hole. And I have picked up, oops, that's not the larger hole. Okay, how did I get all of the wrong ones out here? Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. There we go. There we go. There's the bigger hole. And then I do have these, if I want to use hole reinforcers. That hole I don't think is low enough. Well, maybe. Let's try it. And usually I don't use the hole enforcers unless I'm doing something that is more paper than cardstock. But this cardstock is pretty thick, so I don't really need the hole reinforcers. And these are just, I picked up a package of like Avery labels like this, and then I just inked them so they would look a little bit different. All right. Okay, and then I have some twine that I'm going to use in the holes to put the finishing touch on this tag. And I like tags for also can be used for bookmarks, so you never know. All right, that's perfect. Right. It gives you an idea of how I would decorate a tag. Now, I am going to decorate a bookmark. Same thing here. I'm not sure I'm going to do a ton on this. I definitely want the edges inked. You can always laminate these if you have a laminator, and it just depends on like the thickness of the cardstock that you have or the softness of it, whether or not you want to do that. So I am gonna decorate this. All right, I'm gonna put on the little dragonfly. So when I was putting all of this together, I got to a place where I just didn't like how it was turning out. And so I stopped working on it for about a month. And I came back to it because I wanted to finish it. And I really liked the concept of it, but I switched around quite a few elements and found, again, doing the wrong size. So that I could find a better sort of mix of the whole thing. All right. For bookmarks, I like to use a tassel. So I have a bunch of tassels. You can just get them on Amazon. They're not hard to find, bookmark tassels. And I used the small hole punch, but I thought I might be able to get it. I did. And there we go. Okay. I don't know why I did that out of order because I haven't finished the back yet. But that way you get different things. You can always put something like a twine on the end of a bookmark or nothing at all and just use it like a bookmark. I just know that some people really like to use a bookmark with a tassel. So it's easier to see where it is. I think I'm doing this the wrong direction is what my problem is. Yes, excellent. All right. Let's get a little flower there. And more words. I use matte sticker paper a lot for when I create stickers. I am going to ink the edges of those just a tiny bit. No white edges. Makes me crazy to see white edges on my projects. All right. We're going to have our curious bee. I thought I inked all the bees, but I must have missed this guy. I like this little shape and the bee in the middle of it. I think it's a fun design. And I love the bees, flowers, dragonflies motif. Thinking about like the natural world, and if you are for this folio, the theme is Sunset Dreams, and so there's beautiful skies and all these wild pictures of nature. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it's really it's the kind of place where you can really end up seeing quite a bit of nature on a fairly regular basis. So I appreciate the outdoors, and I love to get out and see a sunset like this one. All right. Yeah, we're going to go that way. Okay. All right, so that gives you an idea. Now you have a bookmark. It's a little heavier with the decorations on it. But once it dries, it will be a great little place for it. Okay, so that gives you those two things. And then I'm going to go ahead and get out one of these. When I printed, I did print on the wrong size paper. So some of these actually do have the whole design in the kit. But I cut it down a little bit due to the size of paper that I was using. All right. And then I have much madness is divinest sense to a discerning eye. I love that. All right. So we decorate that. And then you can write on the back. And now we'll write a little bit while I have this open here. I'll write a little bit about a book I read. So I recently read the book Bewilderment by Richard Powers, right? And so later on, I'll come back and fill in my feelings on that whole book. While I'm here, I will do this. If you want to know, like, where do I come up with all these little sayings? Well, some of them I make up, like I dream in my dream all the dreams of other dreamers, or cultivate the garden of your mind is a pretty common one. And some of it I steal from Shakespeare. So you'll find a lot of Shakespeare stuff actually in a lot of my designs. When I do in my junk journal starter kit that I have in my store, the folder that I pack everything into has quite a few sonnets in the collage that makes up the paper that I use for that. So Shakespeare is easy because a lot of people know it. And I think it adds a touch of that old vintage feel to it. All right, so back in there. All right, and I think that my bookmark is dry enough now that I can put it back in. Okay. Yeah, great. And then I'm going to replace all my tags. Eventually, I'll come in and decorate all of these. And I'll do that over the next couple weeks when I have time. But I wanted to get this, like, how do you decorate and what do you get in the kit to decorate with? I want to get that done so that I can put this up for sale and you can go get this kit in my store if you wish to. So I appreciate all of the support I've gotten here, and I hope that you are doing lots of projects and having lots of fun, and that you have a great weekend planned with lots of crafting involved. All right. Thank you very much and happy crafting.